have an idea of a hometown growing up. Our driveway was almost a mile long. I couldn't see any neighbors when I looked outside of my door. My mom used to drive my sister and I out to the end of the driveway to wait for the bus. And as you can imagine, as we got older, the kids on the bus would start teasing us, right? Oh, your mommy gave you a ride. That's cute. We did not care. We were glad to have someplace warm to sit down and wait for the bus and get ready for that 45-minute drive to the school. So the other thing that would happen on the bus was that sometimes I would hear the kids in the back talking about if they had had a recent adventure creating mischief on the Girl Scout camp. And if they were lucky enough to get away from the crazy man in the green truck. And that man was my dad. So I lived on that Girl Scout camp, and it was my dad's job to take care of the camp. And he did a great job, and it was beautiful. We had 100 acres. It wasn't ours, but we lived there. And he cut the grass, and he repaired the buildings. He made some new buildings. He called the guy to come and empty out the pit latrines. He once called a guy, the dead animal guy, when a horse died on the camp. He took care of the pool. He pulled people out of, when they were stuck in their cars because they parked where he had put logs and rocks, so they wouldn't park there, and they moved them and parked there anyway. He would have to go pull them out. So he was really great at that. My dad is the kind of a guy, very traditional kind of thoughts about men and women, right? Men have certain things they do, women have certain things they do, and men are in charge. So that was really his philosophy. And even though he had those really strong ideas about that, he worked with all women. It was a Girl Scout camp. So in the summertime, the camp was filled with hundreds of girls and young women that ran the camp from Philadelphia. And he had a great time with them. He was very respectful of the ones that worked hard and really enjoyed the outdoors and knew what they were doing. And he talked trash about the lazy ones all day long. But he really enjoyed that work and did great with them. And he brought a lot of fun to it in addition to the work that he did. He would teach them really great pranks to do on each other. And of course they would prank him and put toilet paper all over the green truck. I remember when I would come home from college and I would work as a camp counselor, and we would go out into the woods, and there was a clay pit there, which was just this kind of place out in the woods that I always described as like an overgrown puddle, and there was natural clay there, and we would take these buckets out and dig the clay out, put it in the buckets, and take it back to the arts and crafts room and make pottery and put it in the kiln. But of course we would have a huge clay fight as well and smash the clay all over each other, and we'd just be covered from head to toe in this clay, and we'd come out of the woods carrying the heavy buckets. And if we'd see my dad, they always called him Ranger Dave. We'd see him on the truck, and I'd say, "Go get Ranger Dave!" And they'd run towards him like this with his clay all over them, like that. And he would stop the tractor and jump down and just scream at them, "Get away from me!" And they would just scream laughing and run off to the shower house at the pool. So it was a lot of fun. So as I got older, and as a young woman, as I started to have my own ideas about women's roles and men's roles, it didn't exactly match my dad's idea of that. And I remember when I started to express my opinion, and he'd say to me, "Oh, Debbie, you're turning into one of them women's libbers. It's because of all those women's libbers that were at the camp you were listening to them." And I remember saying to him, "No, actually I'm a women's libber because of you. Because you always told me I could do anything. You took me up on the top of the cabin to help you fix the roof. You had me down in that pool scrubbing the walls with some kind of acid that I thought was going to kill me. And you always told me to do stuff even if I was afraid. So really, you're the one that made me a women's libber, and that's why my dad's my hometown hero."